fight widely, to be honest with you. I think there's a lot of close rounds. I thought Callum Smith won the first half of the fight. I thought John Ryder won the second half of the fight, and had some big rounds, particularly the 11th round as well. I don't think any opinion is going to be popular, but I thought it was a very close fight.
In terms of you finding your rhythm in there, did anything surprise you with what Callum brought to the table in that fight, and how comfortable did you feel as the fight went on?
Just growing confidence there. Really got comfortable a lot quicker than I thought I would. The plan wasn't even to try a punch in the first round, but I believed that I was getting in close and got to work a lot sooner than I thought I would.
How surprised were you with John's performance?
Not surprised, because we said going into the fight, the improvements that he's made over the last 4 or 5 fights have been incredible. And we knew he was going to give a great performance. Thought he had a great game plan, and he grew into the fight as well. So it's not surprising to anyone that knows John how well he did tonight.
You get the thoughts of the coach. What's your viewpoint?
Yeah, I think subject to what Eddie said there, I think before going into the fight, I don't think anyone gives John Ryder a chance in this fight. If you read all the write-ups beforehand, it was like he was going to get demolished and beat easily, and height difference. But we always believed in our gym that he had the ability to win this fight, and I think tonight he proved he's world class. And I thought he won the fight. I thought he won it on the last 2 rounds. I thought he had big rounds in the last 2 rounds. I thought he won. And we'd like to have the return. I think John deserves to have a return fight, because, as everyone's saying, there's so much controversy about the decision. I don't really see how Callum can move on without giving John another shot at him, because no one's gonna really say he's the true world champion now without fighting John again. So and the last few weeks, the last couple of months, like in our gym, I think the decisions have been disgraceful. I really do. We've had tight fights, really tight fights, and my fighters are just losing them widely. I had Ted Cheeseman against Kieran Conway. I had him winning comfortably, and he lost, and he drew on that, ridiculous. I had him beating Fitzgerald Ted. I've had John. It's just like really disillusioning as a coach as well. I'm getting sick of it, to be honest, boxing, because we put in our heart and soul into everything in the gym, and every time there's a tight decision, it ain't going our way.
Did you think a rematch could be a possibility?
Yeah, I don't think, you know what Callum Smith wants to do. He wants to jump into the biggest fight possible, but I think John deserves a rematch or another shot at the world title. And I think we'll be making sure that the regular title, which has become vacant, I think John should fight for that immediately, to be honest with you. But I think the one thing that we know is John's performance would have certainly gained him a lot of fans tonight, whether that's comforting at the moment or not. Yeah. And that means that he's going to go straight back into another big fight.
Johnny, you came into this with 4 knockouts prior with your last performances. How much confidence do you take away from this performance?
He's the world number 1. And rightly so, he's beaten the likes of George Groves. Going and beat Hassan and Dan, but I believe that I showed my worth in it tonight and that I should be champ.
Eddie, from your standpoint, how easy would it be to make that rematch with Callum and Joe in their position?
Again, difficult, because I think they're going to be looking to take the biggest fight possible, and you need to let the water settle first. They feel like they won the fight. You'll hear from them shortly. John feels like he won the fight. I think a lot of people would like to see it again. I thought it was a really good fight, by the way. But my immediate thoughts are probably to speak to the WBA and get John a shot at that other title as soon as possible.
How difficult of a predicament does it put you in? Obviously, you've been around the block a ton of times in this position, but emotions are flying.
Yeah, horrendous. It's horrendous. I hate being involved with both fighters, because you can't win. You can't show any emotion at ringside because you haven't got any emotion anyway. And you go into one changing room and you get a bollocking from Joe Gallagher and Callum Smith because you said it was a close fight, and then you go into another one and you say it was a close fight, and they say, well, it's a joke. It weren't a close fight, and we won that fight. So, and then I had a chat with all your lot from Whites, and they were telling me off as well. And then same with Ted. With the Ted Cheeseman Fitzgerald fight. Fitzgerald got in the ring, and Fitzgerald said, "Oh, you put me in a shit hotel, and Tony SIMS is your mate and you wanted him to win, and then Cheeseman says to me, well, you were thinking about the Fowler Fitzgerald fight, I was never going to win this fight. So you can't really win. But scoring subjective. I think one of the major problems is I don't see how those scores on the cards can be, you know, if it was a split decision or if it was a tight decision, there'd sometimes be a lot less controversy. It's like the Cheeseman result. You know, how could you have that anything but 1 or 2 rounds either way?
We always see it, but nothing seems to get done about it. Like it's like, you know, we say the scores are way too wide, and you know, it's almost like you can throw in any scorecard. And
it is, but I don't see that. I'll just ask you. Look, you had Callum by 1. You had Callum by 1. You had John by 2. You had John by 1. So if we're all seeing that, how can you score it 117, 111?
Yeah.
You know, that's just what I don't. And we're not supposed to be judges, but we watch boxing every week. So, but it seems to happen all the time. And it was a very close fight, and I don't see anyone could have it.
9-3 essentially means he didn't turn up.
Yeah,
that's not very fair.
But you know, he won 3 rounds in the back end, at least minimum. So you know, I just. And who had 117, 111? What judge?
Surprise.
Oh, Jeff, you said that, Jeff.
I think in this country we should bring in the WBC rules where after every 4
Yeah, I like that, Rob.
We've done that in Italy. Every 4 rounds they show them up on the screen, the judges' scorecards, and you see who's scored. And I think that's a fair way to do it. And then you can see who's scoring for what, because if you're getting a judge and he's scoring, and the fight's close, say John 1-2, Callum 1-2, and he's scoring all 4 to Callum, then you know the culprit is ridiculous. You know, and I think that something's got to be done about it, because anything that we do in the sport bad, we get pulled up in front of the board. But anything the referees, the judges do, no one says anything about it. The board don't do a thing. And something's got to happen about this.
John, we've seen fighters who have taken bad decisions and fell out of love with the sport. How are you feeling right now?
It's a sport I love, do you know what I mean? I love the people I train with. I love being around Tony in the gym. I love being in the gym with Dan. I love the people I train with day in, day out. They're like family to me. So it's become a way of life now. And I look at these people like family. So to go and do anything else is alien to me. I don't want to do anything else other than box. But it's just shit like this, it just makes you think about it, doesn't it?
Is that the same for you as well, Tony? I mean, you just given quite a heartfelt speech before, and yeah, it must really.
Yeah, because look, if the judge's decision was like 114, 113 either way, you know, then you'd be thinking, all right, I thought John won the fight, but it was a close fight, and where it is at home. But like 117, 111, 116, 112, I just don't know. Like, how are we all in this room watching a fight that's so, you know, close like that? You're saying you thought John won by a couple of rounds. You're saying Callum won by a round. How are we all seeing that? All of us, everyone on TV.
Oh, you shout out.
I said I was staying out of it.
Yeah.
How are we all seeing that? And then the judges' scorecards are like that. It's just like horrendous, because people watching on the outside, the public, are thinking, what's this sport all about? It's ridiculous, you know. And that's what we're coming to now, you know what I mean? And I'm seeing it like week after week as a coach. And like, my fighters are having close, hard fights and losing by a mile. I don't know what's going on. It's as if I can't see what's going on. I'm looking at the fight thinking, oh, my boy's done enough. And then at the end of it, they lost it by miles. And I'm thinking, well, I've been in this game all my life since 12 years age. I know what I'm looking at, I know what I'm watching, you know. And he's losing 117, 111, it's ridiculous.
All right, guys, thank you. Well done, John Ryder.